Pasabog na moment noong Mayo 18, 2025, exactly 3:47 p.m. sa Pediatric Oncology Ward ng Philippine Children's Medical Center sa Quezon City, si Eman Bacosa, 31 taong gulang, acknowledged son ni Manny Pacquiao, ay tahimik na pumasok sa hospital room ng 7 taong gulang. Na batang lalaking si Gabriel Santos na may stage 4 neuroblastoma, malignant cancer na kumakalat na sa buong katawan, prognosis na binigyan lang ng 3 buwan, to live by doctors, ang bata, whose dying wish dokumente, di by Wish Foundation ay makita personally si Kuya Eman Bacosa at makausap siya tungkol sa pagiging Pacquiao. Pero ang ginawa ni Eman inside that room during 2-hour visit, captured partially sa nurse's phone video na nag-viral with 63 million views, ay sobrang nakaantig na hindi lang parents ng bata kundi buong Pilipinas umiyak. Mga kaibigan, bago natin buksan ang most heartbreaking yet beautiful story ng 2025 tungkol kay Eman Bacosa, na rarely nagpa-public appearance, lagi low profile despite being son ng living legend, kailangan kong malaman nasaan kayo nanonood ngayon. Taga General Santos ba kung saan lumaki si Manny? Manila, Cebu? Cagayan de Oro kung saan lumaki si Eman? O kaya abroad sa Middle East, USA, Canada, Europe? Comment your exact location. At tanong ko rin, akala ninyo ba kay Eman before this ay puro privilege lang? Walang malasakit sa kapwa? O may deeper side siya na deliberately itinago from public eye? Subscribe now para sa buong nakaka-inspire na kwento na siguradong magpapabago ng perception ninyo. I-on ang notification bell, mag-like, share para umabot sa millions. Simulan natin. Ang istorya actually started 3 weeks earlier, approximately April 27, 2025, when Make-A-Wish Foundation Philippines received urgent application from Rowena Santos, 41 years old, single mother working as sales clerk sa SM department store, earning minimum wage approximately 14,000 monthly. Barely enough to survive sa Manila even before crushing medical expenses. Living sa cramped studio-type apartment sa Caloocan City, with her only child Gabriel. Application explained devastating situation. 7-year-old boy diagnosed with neuroblastoma February 2024, underwent intensive chemotherapy protocols, radiation treatments, multiple invasive surgeries over past 15 months, medical interventions that cost approximately 3.2 million total, na majority covered by PhilHealth government insurance at charitable donations pooled from church community, relatives who sacrificed their own needs, workplace fundraisers organized by sympathetic co-workers. Pero despite all efforts at treatments, cancer was aggressively resistant. Recent CT scans at blood work showed tumors actively spreading to bones, liver, lungs. Doctors at Philippine Children's Medical Center delivered devastating prognosis during April 15th consultation. Gabriel had approximately 2 to 3 months left to live maximum. Strongly recommended transitioning to comfort care at home, making final precious memories with family, stopping aggressive treatments that were causing immense suffering without providing any realized hope of remission or cure. Sa application form sa section asking, "What is child's greatest wish?" Rowena wrote in careful, deliberate handwriting, emotions clearly evident sa slightly shaky letters that betrayed trembling hands. Si Gabriel, kahit 7 taong gulang lang, sobrang tuso, matalino, observant beyond his years. Obsessed with boxing hindi dahil sa violence or aggression, kundi dahil sa powerful underdog stories of triumph against impossible odds. Lagi niyang pinapanood sa YouTube yung mga boxing documentaries tungkol kay Manny Pacquiao. Kinakanta niya lahat ng theme songs from Pacquiao's championship fights. Nakamemorize niya buong detailed career timeline from flyweight to welterweight. Pero ang talagang deeply fascinating sa kanya, ang story na hindi niya mabitawan, ay yung tungkol kay Eman Bacosa, yung anak from outside marriage na hindi publicly kilala for 30 full years. Lumaki ng extremely mahirap, exactly like our situation. Completely walang father support or acknowledgement. Tapos biglang dramatically na-acknowledged through DNA testing. Binigyan ng unexpected chance at life. Si Gabriel profoundly identifies kasi pareho silang lumaki. Walang present father figure. Pareho extremely mahirap, struggling daily. Pareho feeling systematically invisible to society. Kaya ang deepest wish niya before finally mamatay ay makita personally si Eman face to face, makausap ng honest, magtanong in detail how he emotionally survived decades of being unwanted, how he psychologically found hope when situations seemed hopeless, paano niya successfully na-overcome yung devastating pain ng paternal rejection. Request was utterly heartbreaking sa raw honesty, child clearly seeing his own abbreviated tragic life reflected in Eman's abandonment narrative, finding rare inspiration sa eventual acceptance story. Make-A-Wish Foundation coordinator na si Teresa Valdez, 53 years old, 20-year veteran of organization, who had successfully granted, literally, thousands of children's wishes, ranging from meeting celebrities to visiting Disneyland, read application, feeling her usual professional mixture ng profound sadness at iron determination, to somehow make magic happen despite obstacles. Pero this particular request was significantly complicated compared to typical celebrity meet-and-greet wishes. Si Eman Bacosa, unlike his father Manny, who maintained extensive public exposure, sophisticated media machinery, formal established channels for managing public requests, si Eman deliberately maintained extremely low profile, rarely did any interviews with entertainment press, actively avoided public events at celebrity gatherings, had no official verified social media accounts managed by professional PR team, just personal private Instagram with approximately 800,000 organic followers, na mostly featured mundane private life content rather than celebrity promotional material. Teresa tried multiple different approaches over following week, reaching out through official Pacquiao Family Foundation channels, contacting Eman's known major endorsement brand, like Jollibee at Bench, sending multiple direct Instagram private messages explaining urgency, calling various contacts throughout boxing community who might have access, pero consistently hit frustrating walls at every turn. Eman's personal manager Miranda Santos, clearly protecting clients' carefully guarded privacy, initially politely declined via professional email, sent May Tay. Mr. Bacosa sincerely appreciates the thoughtful invitation, pero he maintains very strict personal policy regarding public appearances, focusing currently on private business ventures, and strongly prefers maintaining private life away from media spotlight, would respectfully suggest perhaps sending signed personalized memorabilia instead, which we're certainly happy to arrange promptly. Standard diplomatic celebrity deflection that Teresa had encountered countless times before. Teresa absolutely wasn't accepting easy no. Not after carefully reading Gabriel's emotionally devastating story, thoroughly reviewing thick medical records confirming genuinely terminal prognosis with maybe weeks remaining, deeply understanding this was literally dying child's final heartfelt wish, she persistently tried again. Sent much more detailed second email May 5th with extensive attachments, Gabriel's complete medical history documentation, heartbreaking photos of emaciated boy in hospital bed wearing oversized packs, Pacquiao commemorative t-shirt giving brave thumbs up despite obvious terrible suffering. Short video clip of Gabriel weekly singing Manny Pacquiao's iconic entrance music, Eye of the Tiger, with uncomfortable oxygen tubes prominently visible in small nose. Mother's handwritten, deeply personal letter explaining with raw emotion why specifically Eman, not the famous Manny, was Gabriel's true wish. Critical revealing line being, si Gabriel honestly doesn't want to meet untouchable legend na everyone ships from distance. Gusto niya genuinely makausap yung real tao, who personally knows exactly what it feels like to feel systematically unwanted, pero somehow found way to survive and eventually thrive. Yung inspiring story na directly relatable sa kanya, as abandoned child facing death, emotional manipulation perhaps pero completely truthful, Teresa ending urgent email with direct heartfelt appeal. Mr. Santos, I've dedicated my entire professional career working in Make-A-Wish for 20 full years. Successfully granted over 3,000 diverse wishes. Marami sa kanila representing last dying requests of terminally ill children. Never once nagdeny ng any celebrity visit when properly approached with genuine need. I'm humbly asking you to seriously reconsider, not for any publicity benefit, not for PR purposes, purely on humanitarian, compassionate basis. Just 2 hours of Eman's valuable tear me could potentially mean eternal comfort to dying child. Please, I'm begging. May 8th, approximately 3 days later, Teresa received completely unexpected response. Surprisingly not from protective manager, pero directly from Eman's personal private email address. Ms. Valdez, I personally received your forwarded request, carefully read everything you sent, looked at all photos and watched video multiple times. I'm agreeing to visit Gabriel, pero with several non-negotiable conditions. Absolutely no media presence, no publicity whatsoever, no press release before or after visit. This stays completely private, strictly between me, child, and immediate family. I absolutely don't want this cynically used for PR purposes or image building. I'm visiting purely as private, concerned person, not as public figure or celebrity. If you sincerely agree to absolute confidentiality, I can come May 18th afternoon. Please send detailed address at any special medical instructions from doctors about appropriate interaction protocols with terminal patient Eman. Response was surprising, said directness at highly unusual intense concern about avoiding publicity when most celebrities aggressively wanted maximum possible coverage for any charitable activities. Teresa, immediately enthusiastically agreed to all stated conditions without hesitation, began meticulously coordinating logistics with hospital administration for scheduled May 18th visit. Pero what Teresa didn't yet know, compelling reason kung bakit Eman was so adamantly insistent about strict privacy, so intensely protective of visit potentially becoming cheap publicity stunt, was intimately connected to deeply traumatic incident from his own difficult childhood, something he rarely discussed publicly, pero fundament. Ally shaped his entire adult worldview about charity, exploitation, at basic dignity of suffering people. Ano kaya ang traumatic childhood experience na yan na nag-cause ng Eman's unusual strict privacy requirements? Brief flashback to 2002. Si Eman, approximately 8 years old, living with struggling mother Eman Bacosa sa small bahay sa Cagayan de Oro. Experiencing extreme poverty, significantly worse than even Gabriel's current difficult situation, there was particularly terrible period lasting approximately 6 brutal months when Rowena became desperately ill with undiagnosed kidney infection that nearly killed her, couldn't afford any proper medical treatment beyond free overcrowded clinic with overwhelmed doctors. Situation became so medically severe that local charity organization finally intervened offering help. But a wealthy anonymous donor offered to pay all medical bills with one explicit condition. They would extensively document Rowena's suffering, their poverty, Eman's fathy, earless struggle for fundraising campaign materials, essentially cynically use their private misery as emotional content for generating public donations. Young Eman vividly remembered strangers arriving to house with professional cameras, filming their completely empty refrigerator, documenting mother's visible physical pain, capturing his own genuine tears, asking deliberately exploitative questions designed to maximize emotional impact. How does it feel to be abandoned by father? Are you angry at father who left you? What would you say to him if you could? Traumatic experience of having intensely private suffering coldly turned into manipulative public spectacle for consumption. Worse was when slick campaign materials widely circulated showing their recognizable faces alongside manipulative captions like, "Help this poor abandoned family survive," generating substantial donations that honestly did help Rowena eventually recover, pero came at devastating cost of Eman's childhood dignity, privacy, fundamental sense of safety. Classmates saw posters prominently displayed, relentlessly mocked him. Teachers obviously pitied him. Absolutely everyone knew intimate humiliating details of his poverty and abandonment. Experience taught him painfully early that charity often came with hidden steep cost. Loss of basic humanity, reduction to mere symbol of suffering rather than complex whole person. That unresolved childhood trauma directly explained Eman's current absolute insistence on strict privacy for Gabriel's visit, fierce determination that if he was doing this meaningful thing it would be purely authentic human interaction. Definitely not content creation. Absolutely not exploitation of dying child's wish for anyone's benefit including his own. Just two vulnerable people genuinely connecting. Nothing more. Teresa completely understood a deeply respected position, carefully arranged May 18th visit with all hospital staff solemnly sworn to absolute confidentiality. Gabriel's mother, Rowena Santos P.I. Privately informed pero explicitly instructed absolutely no posting on any social media platforms before or during visit. Complete total privacy guaranteed. Pero May 17, exactly one day before carefully scheduled visit, Teresa received panicked, urgent call from Dr. Felipe Reyes, Gabriel's primary oncologist. We need to immediately inform Eman that child's medical condition has deteriorated extremely rapidly past 24 hours. He's now in intensive care unit, may realistically have only days remaining, not months as previously estimated. Vital signs are becoming increasingly unstable. Family should mentally prepare for imminent end. Visit scheduled tomorrow might tragically be too late. Should we attempt to reschedule for immediately tonight if possible? Sudden medical crisis that would severely test Eman's stated commitment. Teresa immediately forwarded Dr. Reyes's urgent message to Eman's personal email, expecting delayed response kasi already late evening. Pero within literally 9 minutes, Eman personally called her mobile directly. Miss Valdez, I just read medical update about Gabriel's deteriorating condition. I'm coming tonight right now. Give me exact hospital address at specific room number. I'll be there within 1 hour maximum. Voice showing absolutely genuine urgency. Walang any hesitation. Teresa, surprised, tried suggesting, Mr. Bacosa, it's quite late. ICU has very restricted visiting hours, strict security protocols. Maybe strategically better to wait until tomorrow morning when we can properly coordinate. Pero Eman firmly interrupted. Kung ang bata is literally dying tonight. Tomorrow morning will definitely be too late. I made promise to visit. I keep my promises. Hospital restrictions can be worked around if doctors medically approve. Please immediately call Dr. Reyes. Explain situation that I'm coming now. Ask him to clear special access. I'm leaving right now. Absolute determination. Call ended abruptly before Teresa could respond further, demonstrating Eman's character when truly mattered. Exactly 8:47 p.m. that evening, approximately 1 hour 24 minutes later, carefully accounting for notoriously heavy Manila traffic, si Eman Bacosa quietly arrived at Philippine Children's Medical Center main entrance, parking his deliberately modest Honda Civic as a crowded visitor parking lot. Wearing intentionally simple, inconspicuous clothes, plain black t-shirt, faded jeans, black face mask at pulled-down baseball cap specifically to avoid public recognition, carrying plain brown paper BA, gina contents not yet visible to observers, calmly walked through bustling hospital main entrance approaching information desk, speaking quietly to security guard. Good evening, Po. I have appointment with Dr. Felipe Reyes, Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. Guard carefully checked computer list, found his name specifically flagged for special after-hours clearance. Sir Eman. Yes, Po. Dr. Reyes is currently expecting you, third floor. Elevator on right side. ICU nurses station will directly assist, speaking respectfully, pero notably not starstruck despite recognizing famous surname. Eman rode elevator alone, quietly observing walls completely covered with cheerful children's colorful artwork, donation memorial plaques, inspirational quotes about hope at healing, typical hospital attempts to humanize inherently clinical sterile environment. Arrived third floor, approached busy Eman Bacosa's station where Dr. Felipe Reyes was already patiently waiting. Mr. Bacosa, thank you genuinely for coming so quickly on short notice. I'm Dr. Reyes. We spoke indirectly through coordinator, brief handshake professional, doctor immediately leading him toward private consultation area located away from patient rooms. Before you see Gabriel, need to mentally prepare you for what to realistically expect. His medical condition has deteriorated extremely significantly past 48 hours. Massive tumor burden is seriously affecting multiple critical organ systems simultaneously. He's experiencing considerable pain despite maximum medication dosages. Breathing is severely labored, requiring continuous oxygen support. Consciousness unpredictably comes and goes. He's periodically aware, sometimes frequently fades in and out. Physically, he's become very fragile. Skin is extremely pale, severe weight loss from disease, visible suffering despite our best palliative efforts. Clinical medical description meant to prevent emotional shock. Eman listening intently, absorbing information. I understand completely. I'm mentally prepare. How lucid is he currently at this moment? Dr. Reyes checked watch. Last I personally saw approximately 30 minutes ago he was awake, speaking coherently with mother. Cognitive function remains relatively intact when conscious, remarkable really given advanced disease progression. Just yesterday afternoon he specifically asked mother if Kuya Eman's still coming tomorrow. Clearly showed he's been actively anticipating visit despite tremendous pain. Hearing that Gabriel had been genuinely looking forward to visit despite unbearable suffering, ang hit Eman, powerfully emotionally, strengthening his resolve. I'd like to see him immediately now if medically possible. I know it's quite late, pero if he's currently awake, I absolutely don't want to miss narrow window of opportunity. Dr. Reyes nodded, understanding. Mother is with him constantly. I'll introduce you properly. Fair warning though, she's extremely protective, understandably, quite emotional obviously, may have pointed questions about your genuine intentions. She's been repeatedly traumatized by opportunistic people who've tried to exploit Gabriel's heartbreaking situation for social media content, made her very defensive and guarded, explaining Rowena Santos's protective posture. Eman responded sympathetically. I completely understand her position. I had very similar traumatic experience as child. That's exactly why I insisted absolutely on strict privacy. I'll carefully reassure her. Walking together down quiet hallway toward ICU room 307, Dr. Reyes knocked gently before slowly opening door. Mrs. Santos Gabriel, may special visitor po para sa inyo. Hospital room was dimly lit deliberately. Extensive medical equipment surrounding small bed creating intimidating maze of IV poles, monitors beeping softly, tracking vital signs, oxygen concentrator humming continuously. As a center ng overwhelming technological complexity was heartbreakingly tiny figure, barely visible under multiple blankets. Gabriel Santos, officially 7 years old pero appearing physically more like malnourished 5, due to severe cancer-related cachexia, dramatic weight loss from disease progression at harsh treatments, skin almost translucent pale, eyes currently closed, breathing visibly labored even with supplemental nasal oxygen. Sitting devotedly beside bed in uncomfortable plastic chair was Rowena Santos, 41 pero looking substantially much older from accumulated stress, eyes noticeably red from hours of crying, hand gently holding son's small fragile hand, carefully avoiding IV insertion site. She looked up defensively as door opened, initially wary expression softening considerably when she clearly saw Eman's recognizable face, even partially obscured by mask. Mr. Bacosa? Voice barely whisper, obvious disbelief evident. Eman approached slowly, respectfully removing face mask. Mrs. Santos, I'm Eman. I came to visit Gabriel as promised. I know it's very late, pero I heard he might not have much time remaining. Wanted to absolutely make sure I didn't miss precious chance to meet him personally. Speaking gently, extremely respectfully. Rowena stood shakily, overwhelming emotions visible. You really actually came, honestly. Akala ko pure PR lang, staged photo opportunity, pero gabi na, completely walang camera crews, wala kang media entourage. You genuinely really came exclusive. Ely for my dying son? Tears starting to flow freely. Eman nodded sincerely. I promised to visit. I absolutely meant it. This is strictly between me and Gabriel. Nothing else matters, may I? Gesturing politely toward empty chair beside bed, Rowena stepped aside graciously. Opo please, Gabriel, anak. Very gently touching son's thin shoulder. Gising ka po? May bisita tayo, very special visitor. Child's eyes fluttered open slowly, initially unfocused and gradually clearing, turning small head weakly toward familiar sound of mother's loving voice. Seeing Eman's face positioned approximately 2 feet away, recognition was instant despite obvious weakness, eyes visibly widening. Kuya Eman? Voice barely audible, scratchy from oxygen tube irritation, pero unmistakable genuine wonder shining through. Eman smiled warmly, encouragingly. Yes, Gabriel, it's really me. I came specifically to visit you tonight. Is that okay with you? Moving slowly, carefully to sit a chair Rowena had graciously vacated. Gabriel tried desperately to sit up, pero physical strength simply wasn't there anymore. Eman immediately gently placed reassuring hand on child's bony shoulder. Don't try to move. Please stay comfortable. I'm perfectly happy talking with you lying down exactly as you are. Actually, I brought something special for you. Reaching carefully into brown paper bag, removing precious item. Brand new boxing gloves. Child-sized, beautiful. Bright red with crisp white trim. Quality genuine leather, not cheap synthetic material. Gabriel's weakened eyes immediately locked intensely on gloves. For me? Pure disbelief. Eman nodded warmly. Yes, absolutely for you. I heard you deeply love boxing. These are real, authentic gloves. Exact same brand I personally used when I was first learning fundamentals. Thought you might really like them. Placing gloves extremely carefully on bed directly next to child who reached out, touching premium leather reverently, despite obvious painful effort required. They're absolutely beautiful, Pacquiao. Pausing to laboriously catch breath. I can't actually box I'm far too sick now. Heartbreaking, mature awareness of own severe limitations. Eman's expression softened with deep compassion. You don't have to physically box with them at all. These gloves are purely for remembering, for knowing deep inside you're genuine fighter. You've been courageously fighting terrible cancer for over a full year. That objectively makes you mentally tougher than any professional boxer I personally know. These gloves are to honor your incredible fighting spirit. Para, when you look at them, you always remember you're already champion. Powerful words hit Gabriel with tremendous emotional force, tears forming. Champion? Questioning fundamental self-concept. Eman leaning closer intimately. Yes, absolutely champion. You know what genuinely makes someone true champion. Hindi simply winning fights, it's courageously refusing to give up even when fight becomes hardest. You've gone through multiple invasive surgeries, brutal chemotherapy, unbearable pain that most full-grown adults couldn't possibly handle. Pero you're still here breathing, still fighting, still finding inner strength to smile at your devoted mom, to think caringly about others. That's genuine championship-level courage. Gabriel? Validation desperately needed child had never received. Gabriel absorbed profound words carefully, then asked with 7-year-old directness that pierced through all pretense. Pero Kuya Eman, I'm going to die very soon. Doctors already told me honestly. How can I truly be champion if I ultimately lose this fight? Confronting own mortality with devastating clarity, room went absolutely silent except for steady beeping of medical equipment. Rowena stifled heartbreaking sob. Doctor. Reyes watching from doorway visibly affected. Pero Eman's response would change everything. Would give dying child final gift more valuable than any medical treatment. Eman took several deep breaths before responding, carefully choosing words that would matter forever. Gabriel, let me share important secret with you. Every single fighter eventually loses. My father, Manny Pacquiao, widely considered greatest boxer who ever lived. He lost fights during his career. He retired. Absolutely. Everyone loses eventually. Pero that doesn't remotely erase the incredible victories. Doesn't erase the tremendous courage it took to enter ring repeatedly. You've already won, Gabriel. You've already demonstrated more genuine bravery than most people show an entire lifetime. Whatever happens next doesn't change that fundamental truth. You're champion forever in ways that matter most. Carefully reframing mortality, not as defeat, pero as honorable completion of victorious fight. Gabriel absorbed words deeply, processing, You really honestly think so? Desperately needing reassurance. Eman with absolute conviction. I know so beyond any doubt that I'm not just saying empty words to make you feel better. I genuinely mean this. You personally inspired me profoundly tonight, watching you fight courageously despite knowing terrible odds, finding inner strength to smile, to care about boxing gloves when you're experiencing such pain. That's pure inspiration, Gabriel. You're teaching me about real courage right now. Intimate conversation continued for approximately next 90 meaningful minutes, Eman gently asking Gabriel about favorite boxers throughout history, favorite specific fights he'd obsessively watched, sharing personal stories about growing up poor sa Cagayan de Oro, not knowing Manny was biological father, feeling completely abandoned, Gabriel relating deeply, asking surprisingly profound questions for 7-year-old. Did you hate your dad intensely? How did you stop feeling desperately sad? Paano mo nahanap ang genuine happiness? Questions from dying child trying to make peace with abbreviated life. Eman answering with complete honesty about anger, eventual forgiveness, finding meaningful purpose. Occasionally Rowena interjected with precious memories of Gabriel's vibrant personality before devastating illness. Showing photos on phone of healthy energetic child, sports activities, school achievements, creating fuller picture of complete person beyond current suffering. Dr. Reyes periodically checked vitals, noting remarkably that Gabriel's heart rate and breathing patterns actually stabilized during emotional conversation. Psychological comfort providing measurable physiological benefit. Approximately 10:30 p.m. Gabriel's limited energy started visibly fading significantly, eyes closing longer between increasingly rare blinks, speech noticeably slowing. Kuya Eman, I'm getting really sleepy now. Apologetic tone. Eman squeezed child's hand extremely gently. That's completely okay, you rest peacefully. I'll stay here a little longer if that's all right with everyone. Gabriel managed small genuine smile. Will you come back tomorrow like you promised? Still hopeful despite everything, Eman promised firmly. Yes, definitely, I'll come back tomorrow at every single day after until you don't want me to anymore. We're real friends now. Friends visit each other regularly. Profound commitment that made Gabriel's exhausted face light up despite crushing exhaustion. Friends? Repeating word like discovering precious treasure, eyes finally closing, breathing evening out into peaceful sleep. Eman sat completely still quietly for another 20 minutes, just being present, offering silent companionship, finally stood up very carefully. Rowena walked him toward door. Outside room she broke down completely. You gave my dying son something even doctors couldn't provide. Hope, dignity, feeling genuinely valued. He's been so severely depressed, feeling like unbearable burden to me. Tonight I saw him truly happy for first time in months. Salamat, hindi ko enough masabi. Crying openly uncontrollably. Eman hugged her briefly. I'll be back tomorrow, First Santos, that's solid promise. Pero what neither of them knew, Gabriel wouldn't wake up from that peaceful sleep, would pass away quietly approximately 4:17 a.m., surrounded by mother's love at final beautiful memory of friend who valued him. Next morning, May 18th, 6:32 a.m., Eman's phone rang urgently, Dr. Reyes calling, Mr. Bacosa, I'm very sorry to inform you Gabriel passed away peacefully early this morning. Peaceful passing in sleep. Wanted you to know before coming to hospital. Mother specifically asked me to personally tell you that Gabriel died happy because of last night's visit. Wanted me to convey her deepest thanks. Devastating news hit hard despite being medically expected, pero what Dr. Reyes said next changed everything. There's something else important. Gabriel's mother urgently wants to meet you today if possible. She has something crucial to give you, something Gabriel secretly prepared before he got too sick. Refused to let anyone see it, saying firmly only for Kuya Eman, I strongly think you should come. Mysterious item that would reveal final profound gift from child. May 18th, exactly 2:00 p.m., Eman returned to Philippine Children's Medical Center, this time to Quiet Hospi, Tal Chapel located ground floor kung saan Rowena Santos had specifically requested private meeting. Walking through hushed hallways, still decorated with children's artwork. Colorful, cheerful paintings of families, houses, sunshine, innocent dreams captured in crayon at watercolor by kids fighting illnesses most adults couldn't comprehend. Entered empty chapel, finding only Rowena sitting sa front pew holding modest cardboard box approximately size of shoebox, wearing simple black dress, eyes sever. Ely swollen from continuous crying pero somehow composed, looked up as Eman approached. Mr. Bacosa, thank you for coming back. Voice hoarse from grief, Eman sat beside her respectfully. I'm so deeply sorry for your loss, Mrs. Santos. Gabriel was extraordinary child. I'm honored I got to know him even briefly. Words feeling desperately inadequate pero completely sincere, Rowena nodded. He died peacefully, doctor said. In his sleep, last thing he said, before dozing off last night after you left was, I have real friend now, real friend. He went happy. That's everything to mother, knowing child died happy. Heavy silence stretched between them. sacred space of shared grief. Finally, Rowena lifted box with trembling hand. Does. Gabriel worked on something for past 3 weeks since I first applied to Make-A-Wish Foundation. He was determined to finish before getting too sick. Spent every moment he had energy working on this. Refused to show me completed version. Said only Kuya Eman can see it first. Made me promise to give it to you if he died before visit happened. Pero since you came last night, he wanted you to have it anyway. His final gift. Extending box toward Eman with shaking hands. Eman accepted careful. May I open it now? Asking permission, Rowena. Yes, please, I'm curious too. He was very secretive about it. Eman carefully lifted cardboard lid, revealing contents that made his breath catch. Hand-drawn comic book, approximately 20 pages of computer paper carefully stapled together. Front cover showed crayon drawing of 2 figures in boxing ring, one taller wearing red gloves labeled Kuya Eman, one smaller wearing blue gloves labeled Gabriel, both with arms raised in victory pose, title written in child's high, writing with some letters backwards. The champion who never gave up, a true story. Inside pages contained surprisingly sophisticated sequential art telling story, clearly influenced by manga style Gabriel must have studied. Narrative followed Eman's life story as Gabriel understood it from internet research, YouTube videos, news articles. Opening pages showing young Eman in Cagayan de Oro living with mother. Caption bubbles explaining, he didn't have dad, he was poor, he felt alone. Depicting, G struggles with empathy only child who lived similar pain could capture. Middle pages showing older Eman being rejected, bullied, working hard despite obstacles, persevering through difficulties. Final pages showing reunion with Manny Pacquiao, acknowledgement after 30 years, acceptance into family, triumphant ending with text. He never gave up. Even when life was unfair, he kept fighting. He became champion of his own life. I want to be like him. But most emotionally devastating was final. Page clearly added recently when Gabriel knew he was dying. Showed 2 figures again, pero this time not in boxing ring, instead in clouds surrounded by light. Gabriel character wearing red boxing gloves, smiling, with speech bubble saying, "Thank you Kuya Eman for teaching me that being champion isn't about living longest but fighting bravest. I'm not scared anymore. I know I'm champion too." Tears were streaming down Eman's face before he finished reading. Couldn't control emotional response. This dying child had spent precious final energy creating gift for him, distilling life lessons into crayon art, finding meaning in suffering through connection to someone who understood. Rowena was crying too, seeing comic for first time. He made this for you, poured his heart into it, wanted you to know you mattered to him, that your story gave him courage, explaining significance. Pero there was one more thing. Rowena pulled envelope from bag. Gabriel also wrote letter to you few days ago when still had strength. Dictated it to me kasi writing was getting too hard. Handing over envelope with, "Para kay Kuya Eman," written in adult handwriting. Pero Gabriel's words, "At ang let," na yan would contain final message so powerful it would transform Eman's entire life purpose. Eman opened envelope with trembling hands, Rowena asking, "Please read aloud if okay, I'd like to hear it again." Voice breaking. Eman nodded, began reading, voice cracking multiple times. "Dear Kuya Eman, hi po, this is Gabriel. I'm writing this kasi I know I'm going to die soon, doctors told me. Mama tried to hide it, pero I heard them talking. I'm not scared anymore. Well, maybe a little bit scared, pero not like before. Before I was scared because I thought dying means I failed, means I wasn't strong enough, means I'm loser. Pero when I learned about your story, about how you were abandoned, how people said you didn't matter, how you felt invisible for 30 years, pero you never gave up. You kept going. You found your place. You became someone. That taught me something important. Being strong isn't about winning. It's about not giving up, even when you know you might lose." Letter continued describing Gabriel's private suffering, his fears, his determination to be brave. "I've been fighting cancer for a long time. I'm tired, my body hurts all the time. Pero I don't feel like loser anymore. I feel like fighter. I feel like champion because I tried my hardest, because I didn't stop being kind even when sick, Because I still love my mama even though I know she'll be sad when I'm gone. That's strength, right? You taught me that, Kuya Eman. You probably don't remember, pero I saw you once before. 6 months ago, December 2024. You were at Jollibee in Quezon Avenue with your friends. I was there with Mama after chemotherapy. I wanted to approach you, ask for picture, pero I was too shy. I was bald from treatment, skinny. I felt ugly. I thought you wouldn't want to take picture with sick kid. Pero I watched you from across restaurant. You were nice to everyone, to waiter, to janitor, to kids who asked for autograph. You treated everyone with respect, not because cameras were there, just because that's who you are. That made me want to be like you. Not famous, not rich, just kind, just real. Final paragraph was devastating. Now I'm dying and my biggest wish was to meet you, to thank you for existing, for being example that unwanted kids can still matter, can still be valuable, can still be champions. If you're reading this, it means either I already died or I'm too sick to talk. Either way, I were. And to say salamat, thank you for being my hero. Not because you're Pacquiao, pero because you're you. Please don't be sad for me. I lived 7 years. It's not long, pero it was good. I had best mama in world. I had friends. I had dreams. I had you as inspiration. That's enough. I'm champion. You taught me that. Keep fighting, Kuya Eman. Keep being kind. Keep helping kids like me who feel invisible. You have gift for making people feel seen. Don't waste it, love. Your friend forever. Gabriel Santo, future champion in heaven. Complete silence at chapel except for sound ng both adults crying uncontrollably. Letter was devastating, so wisdom from child facing death. Eman carefully refolded paper, placed back in envelope. Mrs. Santos, I want to do something meaningful for Gabriel's memory. Something that honors who he was, what he taught me. Would you be open to discussing that? Rowena considered. Gabriel's dying wish was to meet you. You fulfilled that. Gave him happiness at end. Pero if truly want something, there are so many other kids like Gabriel. Terminal cases, poor families, children who feel invisible, who need someone to tell them they matter. Maybe you could visit them, not for publicity, just like you did for Gabriel. Private, real. That would honor him. That would be his legacy. Eman immediately agreed. Yes, I'll work with Make-A-Wish Foundation, with hospitals, visit terminal children regularly, privately. I'll be friend to kids who feel alone. I'll tell them they're champions regardless of outcome. That's Gabriel's gift to me. Commitment made right there. Later that week, Eman contacted Teresa Valdez, established Gabriel Santos Memorial Fund, donated 10 million pesos personally, committed matching donations up to another 10 million, fund specifically for terminal children from poor families. Foundation overwhelmed, pero Eman refused publicity. This stays private. Gabriel taught me real kindness doesn't need audience. Pero as often happens with genuine goodness, word leaked. 3 weeks later, June 8th, Nurse Jennifer Cruz, who witnessed May 17th visit violated privacy agreement, posted 60-second secretly recorded video showing Eman giving gloves to Gabriel, audio of Your Champion speech, posted Facebook caption, This is real hero, Eman Bacosa, visiting dying child, no cameras, pure L, Ove. Video went massively viral. 63 million views 72 hours, triggering exactly what Eman feared. Public spectacle. Pero reaction was overwhelmingly positive, genuinely moved. Comments. This is real character. Compared to celebrities with media teams, transforming public perception completely. Public response generated 30 million pesos donations to Make-A-Wish within days, sick children benefiting massively. After internal debate, Eman posted limited Instagram response June 11th. Last month had privilege meeting extraordinary Gabriel Santos. He taught me more about courage than I could teach him. He passed peacefully. His memory deserves honor, not viral content. Pero since leaked, asking everyone move to donate Make-A-Wish Philippines, support Children's Medical Center, visit sick children. Gabriel's legacy should be tangible help, not clicks. Salamat. Post received 4 million likes. Donations SBI. KED to 45 million by week's end. Unexpected consequence. Other parents contacted requesting visits. Dozens of heartbreaking messages. Eman established sustainable system. Monthly hospital ward visits every second Saturday. 2-hour pediatric oncology sessions, terminal cases, no media. Word spread quietly. Families requesting transfers hoping for visit. Doctors reporting measurable morale improvements. Stories multiplied. 10-year-old Manny Pacquiao refusing amputation. Eman spending extra time sharing personal incompleteness feelings, reframing perspective. Surgery happened successfully. Bought extra year. Toll was significant, absorbing suffering, watching decline, attending funerals. Hospital chaplain Father Miguel counseled, "You cannot save them all, pero what you're giving is equally valuable. Dignity, validation, sense their lives mattered. Don't underestimate it." August 29th. Turning point. Rowena Santos requested meeting. Brought Gabriel's comic. I believe Gabriel would want his story shared, want other kids to see someone like him still mattered, still became champion. Giving you permission share publicly. Not exploitation, pero inspiration. With blessing, September 5th. M. And posted full story. Comic pages, letter, impact, call to action. Post went viral, 50 million views. Comic became internet sensation. Artists created animations. Teachers used in classrooms. Hospitals printed copies. Gabriel's 7-year life created legacy affecting millions. October 15th. Unexpected visitor. Manny Pacquiao at door holding newspaper about Eman's hospital ministry. We need to talk, anak, about what you're doing, about what I've been doing wrong as father. Then revealed secret. 7th sibling Emmanuel Jr. died 8 months old 1990 from heart defect, couldn't afford surgery. I promised if I had money, I'd help kids like him, made millions, pero never kept promise until I watched you do exactly what I should have been doing. You're honoring Emmanuel Jr.'s Emery better than I ever did. I'm asking, can I join you? Will you teach me? Partnership launched November 2025. Visiting hospitals together. Fund reached 200 million by December. Manny funded new pediatric hospice Emmanuel Jr. and Gabriel Santos Wing. Opened March 2026. Rowena cutting ribbon. My son's death created life for this. His suffering not meaningless. Redemption. Love continuing beyond death. 1 year after Gabriel's passing, May 18th, 2026, both visited grave placing boxing gloves together. Red from a man, blue from Manny, unified commitment. Christmas 2026 mansion gathering included 30 families helped by memorial program. Eman surrounded by children, Manny watching, Jinkee beside him. He found his calling, his ring is hospital ward, his championship is making children feel valued. Manny nodded. More than proud, humbled, he's teaching how to be champion outside ring. Gabriel started this. Eman finishing beautifully. That's real legacy measured in lives touched. Children who die knowing they mattered. Victory lasting forever. Photo captured Eman holding tiny hospital girl, both laughing, genuine joy. Jinkee posted Instagram. This is my stepson. Real champion. Real hero. Real Pacquiao. Proud to call him family. 12 million likes. Public perception transformed. Para for Eman wasn't about perception. Was about 7-year-old who wanted to meet him. Died happy because someone valued him. Created legacy beyond brief life. Gabriel Santos. Champion forever. Proving shortest lives can have longest impacts when lived with courage, kindness, belief. Everyone deserves to know their champion. That's Gabriel's gift delivered through Eman. Redemption through service. Healing through presence. Championship through compassion. Exactly what Filipino kapwa means. Char. Ed humanity serving you serves God. That's real Pacquiao championship outlasting any record. Forever.